Would you lie to me, honey? Why do you lie to me? It's an interesting question, why do people lie? And if we had a world full of people that just told the truth, straight down the line, what you see is what you get. I'm honest, I don't exaggerate, I don't tell half-truth, which are a full lie. What would the world be like? And it's been suggested by the behavioural scientists, the psychologists and psychiatrists, that the world might be a bit ugly because if we tell the exact truth all the time, we could hurt people's feelings. But it's interesting because I would rather somebody tell me the truth to my face than go behind my back and tell lies about me. At least if you think I'm a bad person, come to my face and tell me. That's called straight down the line honesty, and I'd really like that. But perhaps some people wouldn't. But the question is, why do people lie? And there's all sorts of reasons. And again, the psychologists and psychiatrists suggest that the number one reason is that we are trying to impress people, or we're trying to impress ourselves. Low self-esteem is a real challenge, of course. I don't like who I am, so I'm going to lie to myself about what's really going on in my life, and I'm going to lie to other people about what's going on in my life because I don't want them to know the real truth. And does that matter? Are there degrees of lying where this won't hurt somebody's feelings, this one will hurt somebody's feelings, so we shouldn't do it? This one could be a major challenge, it could ruin the world, this particular lie. And I'm sure that if you look at, for example, politicians, some politicians tell little lies and some tell big ones and some tell lies that can screw up a country. So how do we know if somebody's lying? We probably don't, because there's lots of people who can, even if they have a lie detector test, they can still get through that test without the test knowing that they're lying. And some people would suggest that that's there's some kind of mental psychopathy going on there where the person is so capable of lying that they believe their own lies. But that's not the reason for my question. The reason I'm asking why do we lie, is it possible we lie to ourselves on two different scales, one in the positive and one in the negative? So we tell ourselves that we can't do it, it's not possible, it won't work. And could that be a lie? Because other people have done it, people have achieved it, people have set the goal and achieved that goal. You could do it too. But if you tell yourself that you can't do it, that could be a lie. The reverse of that is, why am I in this situation? I'll use a classic. I don't know why I'm overweight. I've heard that many thousands of times in my career as an exercise professional, as a personal exercise coach. I don't know why I'm overweight. That could be a lie. If you didn't exercise and you ate lots of food and you're overweight, it could be that you're lying to yourself. There's a really interesting one that comes from dietitians in particular. There's a thing called the mouth-eye gap, where we eat something and we forget that we ate it. So we see it, we eat it, but we forget that we ate it. And so then when somebody says, did you eat that? Or what did you eat yesterday? We forgot. There's a gap between what I saw and what I put into my mouth. Is that a lie? And I'm asking again, because what if we decided from this day forward, I'm going to tell myself the truth. I'm not going to exaggerate. I'm not going to be delusional. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm just going to tell the truth. Would it be nice if we could then pass that on to perhaps the people in our family? So, and I'm not talking about hurting people's feelings. If somebody says, do you like this outfit, and you don't really like it, you probably don't need to say, no, I don't like it, it's ugly. You could probably just say, do you love it? And if you love it, you should wear it. And that would then be the truth, wouldn't it? So I'm finding it difficult because I hate lying. It's one of the things that I just don't know how to deal with, because I like to take people at face value. What you see is what you get. And when I find out that what I see isn't what I got, that the person lied to me, they were dishonest, I find that difficult to deal with, because then you don't know what you're actually dealing with. And I use a classic example for that. I used to go and sit in the Supreme Court to watch court cases. I've got a real interest in human behaviour. And it's interesting in court, if you tell, and the defence lawyers are very good at this, and I'll rephrase that, all lawyers are really good at this. They ask you a series of questions and they ask you some benign, unimportant questions. But if they catch you out lying about something that isn't important, then they don't believe anything that you say. And they use it as a strategy to say, well, if they're going to lie about where they were at this time, then they must be lying about everything. And that's one of those challenges I have with lies. If somebody lies to me once, then I don't know what's truth and what's not. And that's one of the things that I have a real challenge with politicians, with some of the medical information that we're given. And I'd have to deal with medical professionals on a day-to-day basis. And I always ask them straight down the line, tell me the truth. What do you know about this versus what don't you know about this? And this is one of the things that, is this a lie or not? If I give you information but I haven't got all of the information, or I don't know all of the information, and I'm just sprouting forth somebody else's opinion, and I tell you, yeah, the fact of this is, and they talk, but that's not the whole truth. It's not all the information available. And when it comes to diagnosis of a disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, depression, some of those big killer diseases, I would like to get the whole truth and all sides of the story. What are the side effects? What will happen if I take this drug? What will happen if I don't take this drug? But often in the medical profession, we get a whole heap of information, but it's not the whole truth. And I use that quote on a regular basis. Half a truth is a full lie. And the reason I'm asking the questions is, wouldn't it be nice if we lived in a world where we got the whole truth? Are we tough enough to handle the truth? And maybe that's the challenge, is that people lie to us because they think we can't handle the truth. Feedback, feed forward as I call it, and criticism is one of those things. There's a lot of bosses, there's a lot of coaches, there's a lot of leaders who feel very uncomfortable about telling somebody the truth about how they performed or whether they're good at something, because the person can't handle the truth. So they give them a half-truth. Here's a classic example of a half-truth. That was, yeah, you're great, or that was good, or you did a good job. What does that actually mean? Specifically, where did I do a good job? And that's when if you're telling a lie, it's very difficult to come up with, well, you did this, this, and this specifically. And the beautiful thing about the truth is you don't have to remember. If you tell lies on a regular basis, you have to remember the lie, and that's where it becomes complicated, because you can get caught out very easily, because if you've got a bad memory, you'll get caught out all the time. If you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory, you just tell the truth. What happened? This is what happened. Who am I? This is who I am. You don't have to lie. I always ask these questions for our kids, because our kids are being brought up in a world where I think they're being lied to on a regular basis. Whether it's on purpose or as an accident, I'm not even sure what's an accident to tell a lie. But if our kids believe that they have to have a certain job, they have to have a certain health condition, they have to live in a certain house and with a certain financial situation, and that's all that life's going to ever offer them. And kids are told that on a regular basis. You can't, it's not possible, it won't work, you're too dumb, you don't have enough education, you come from the wrong environment, you come from the wrong culture, you can't do it. And see, I think they're lies. Now, maybe they're lies told by personal experience, because the person saying that might actually believe it. But that's why it's so important to get both sides. There's always two sides. Doesn't matter what my opinion is, there's always another opinion. Doesn't matter what somebody believes to be a fact, there's always somebody that would dispute that fact. Doesn't matter what it is. And that's why I want our kids to be critical thinkers, creative thinkers, to think for themselves, so that they can work out for themselves whether it's the truth or a lie. And that's a different headspace, isn't it? To be able to, and I'm not good at it, I listen to somebody talk and I believe them. But because I've lived on the planet a really long time, because I've been lied to so many times, there are things that I listen for. And there's something that, this is going to sound very negative coming from such a positive person, but it was taught to me a very long time ago to expect the worst, accept the worst, and deal with it. Which means, as an employer, for example, everybody's going to lie to you, Rowie. Everybody's going to screw up, Rowie. And if they don't, that's a bonus. Versus everybody's going to tell you the truth and everybody's going to be awesome, and then you end up disappointed. So you don't expect people to tell you the truth. You don't expect people to put in 100% effort. You don't expect people to be honest. And when they are, it's a bonus. It's an interesting headspace to live in, but it also means that you are very rarely disappointed and very rarely get angry, because it was what you were expecting. The other thing to take note of course, is that if somebody lies to you once, that means they are a liar. They are capable of lying. And if they then lie to you twice and they're still in your life, could that be my challenge, not theirs? If somebody tells me a lie and then I accept that that's okay, they now know it's okay and they're going to keep lying. And then I have to accept that if they're still in my life, I just have a liar in my life, which for me, that means I can't believe anything that they tell me. And I have a few people in my life like that, where when they tell me something, I just kind of, I don't take it on board, I don't take it seriously because they've lied to me so many times. It's a very personal thing for me because I would love our world to be healthy, fit and strong. I would love everybody to have a career or business that they love. I would love everybody to be financially free, and would love everybody to have great people in their life. What I want doesn't matter, it's what you want. And is it possible that if we want those things for ourselves, we have to tell the truth to ourselves? Yes, I can be healthy, fit and strong, but I can't be if I make excuses. Yes, I can have a career or business that I love, but I can't if I'm lazy or undisciplined, or I don't treat people beautifully, or I have core values that don't suit my customers and clients. I can be financially free, but I have to set up the plan to do that. Financial freedom doesn't fall out of the sky in a pretty pink box. I have to set it up. So I can't lie to myself and say, oh, I'll be wealthy when I win lotto. And that might happen 1 in a billion chance or whatever it is. But if I tell myself the truth, it says, this is how much I earn, this is how I'm going to create financial freedom, if I'm honest with myself. And then the people that we have in our life, our relationships, particularly the relationship that we have with ourselves, if we're lying, I can't do it, that's a lie, because you can if you find a way, of course you can. And or I don't know why that happened to me. How about we be honest and say, well, the reason, and this was shared with me as a very young girl. If you're fat, you ate it. If you're broke, you spent it. If you have a lousy, stinking, rotten job, you probably interviewed into it. And if you're in terrible relationships, it's because you're choosing to stay in them. That's pretty honest. It's straight down the line, brutal honesty. But I love that, and I'm really appreciative that was taught to me a very long time ago. Rowie, be honest with yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Then life becomes so much easier. So for our kids and for our future, wouldn't it be nice if we told the truth? What a great idea.